life without the consistent pursuit of excellence is a slow death. Not a dramatic death, not a sudden collapse, a slow one, quiet, comfortable, indistinguishable from normal living to anyone watching from the outside, but felt deeply, daily, by the man living it. The slow erosion of potential, the gradual acceptance of less, the almost imperceptible narrowing of what feels possible, until one day the man who once had a vision for an exceptional life is simply managing an average one and has forgotten that he ever wanted anything more. That is the slow death, and it is available to every single person who chooses comfort over the relentless, daily, never-finished pursuit of being better than they were yesterday. Excellence is not a destination. It is not a level you reach and then occupy. It is a direction, a permanent orientation toward the best version of what is possible, in every area, at every stage, without exception and without end. The man who stops pursuing excellence in any single area of his life has accepted a slow death in that area, and slow deaths spread. They do not stay contained. The mediocrity in the body eventually affects the mindset. The complacency in the faith eventually affects the discipline. The stagnation in the wealth eventually affects the self-respect. Everything is connected, and the standard in one area is always communicating something to every other area about what you believe you deserve. Pursue excellence everywhere, always, without rest. Excellence in faith is the foundation that everything else is built on. Not religion as performance, not attendance as identity. A genuine, daily, deepening pursuit of the thing that holds the whole structure up from underneath. The man whose faith is growing, who is studying more, praying with more honesty, living from spiritual principles with more consistency. That man has an anchor that no circumstance can pull loose. Faith is the art of holding on to things your reason has once accepted, in spite of your changing moods. The pursuit of excellence in faith means never being satisfied with where your understanding currently is, never treating last year's depth as sufficient for this year's demands, going deeper into what you believe, testing it against the hardest questions, living it through the most inconvenient circumstances, and praying, not when things are bad, not only in crisis, but daily, as the first act of a man who understands that his own capability has a ceiling, and that ceiling can be raised through alignment with something greater. Excellence in faith is not passive. It is the most active pursuit available to a human being. Pursue it accordingly. Excellence in the physique is non-negotiable. Not because the body is the point, because the body is the vessel, because the discipline required to build and maintain a strong, capable, well-fueled body is the same discipline that builds and maintains everything else. The man who takes his physical condition seriously, who trains consistently, eats with intention, sleeps with discipline, is demonstrating every single day that he takes himself seriously. Physical fitness is not only one of the most important keys to a healthy body, it is the basis of dynamic and creative intellectual activity. The body and the mind are not separate systems. The energy you train into the body is the energy you bring to the business, the relationship, the creative problem, the hard conversation. The man who neglects his physical excellence is operating at a fraction of his actual cognitive and emotional capacity. And a man operating at a fraction of his capacity cannot pursue excellence in anything else at full power. Train, not occasionally, consistently, not comfortably, progressively. Never be satisfied with last month's standard. Always be extending the pursuit. Excellence in wealth is the pursuit of financial mastery, not as greed, but as stewardship. The man who pursues financial excellence understands that money is a tool, like every tool, its value is determined entirely by the quality of the person wielding it. The excellence is not in the accumulation, it is in the understanding of markets, of value creation, of delayed gratification, of the discipline to build rather than spend, to invest rather than consume, to think in decades while most people think in days. Wealth is the ability to fully experience life. And the pursuit of that wealth, the genuine, disciplined, intelligent, patient pursuit, requires the same standard of excellence applied everywhere else. The same early morning, the same continuous learning, the same refusal to accept the current level as sufficient, the same hunger for the next level of understanding, skill, and execution. Never stop learning about money. Never stop building. Never be satisfied with what you currently know about how value is created and how it is kept. The pursuit of financial excellence is lifelong, and the man who treats it as such builds something that lasts beyond him. Excellence in mindset is the pursuit that makes all other pursuits possible, because the mindset is the lens. It determines what you see when you look at a problem, an obstacle, or a curriculum. It determines what you feel when results are slow, doubt or patience. It determines what you do when the motivation disappears, stop or continue. The mindset is not a background feature of the man. It is the operating system, and the operating system requires constant upgrading. The mind is everything. What you think, you become. The pursuit of excellence in mindset means reading daily, not occasionally, daily. It means filling the hours of input with things that expand the thinking rather than sedate it. It means auditing the internal conversation regularly and removing the language of limitation and replacing it with the language of a man who has decided what is possible for him. It means surrounding yourself with people who are operating at a higher level of thinking and letting their standard challenge your own. Never stop upgrading the operating system. The man whose mindset is still running the same software it was running 5 years ago is operating below his current potential in every area of his life. Excellence in wisdom is the pursuit that compounds most silently and pays out most substantially. Wisdom is not intelligence. It is not information. It is the lived, tested, applied understanding that comes from the experience honestly examined and honestly learned from. The man pursuing excellence in wisdom is not just accumulating knowledge. He is converting every experience, every failure, every success, every relationship, every season of suffering into a deeper understanding of how life actually works. By 3 methods we may learn wisdom. First, by reflection, which is noblest. Second, by imitation, which is easiest. And third, by experience, which is the bitterest. Use all 3. Reflect on your life deliberately and regularly. Find the people who are living at the level you are pursuing and study them closely. And when the experience arrives, especially when it is bitter, extract everything it has to offer before you move on. The pursuit of wisdom has no ceiling. The wisest man who ever lived died still learning. Follow that model. Excellence in all of these areas simultaneously is not an overwhelm. It is an ecosystem. When the faith deepens, the discipline strengthens. When the body is trained, the mind sharpens. When the mindset expands, the wealth vision clears. When the wealth grows, the giving increases. When the giving increases, the soul fills. When the soul fills, the faith deepens further. Every pursuit feeds every other. The man who is pursuing excellence everywhere is not running in multiple directions. He is building one unified, compounding, increasingly exceptional life. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act but a habit. Make it the habit, the daily habit. the non-negotiable, never finished, always extending habit of asking in every area, every day, what does the excellent version of this look like? And then doing that, regardless of how you feel, regardless of what it costs, regardless of how long it takes. Because the alternative, the life without the consistent pursuit, is not rest, it is not peace, it is not contentment, it is the slow death, and you are not built for that.